Oh yes, another WWE review, which means we got the steel sheet handy just in case we need to crack ourselves in the skulls just to wake us up from the boring shit that put us to sleep in the first place, which this week was Monday Night Raw, to the point where my review show was simply titled The Bad, The Really Bad, and The Horrible. But unlike Raw, this week's Smackdown brought its A-game, so we won't be needing the steel sheet today, because Smackdown did bring that A-game to the point in which this review show will simply be titled The Good, The Great, and The Fucking Epic. Let's talk about it now! So I titled this video The Good, The Great, and The Epic, and you do not have to look too far to get the good of this show right out of the gate. The Miz, with his Miz TV, middle of the ring, and he's hyping up, promoting his guest as somebody who you don't see often on SmackDown. They don't appear often. You probably won't see him often in the future either. It's a big star. The anticipation is building, and just like in true heel form, what a heel should do, build up that anticipation and let everybody down. That's what The Miz did last night, and I fucking loved it. He calls out the other half of the It couple, the other half of Miz and Mrs., the Mrs. Maryse comes down as the guest, and I love these two. Bickering back and forth. A good bickering, not an argument bickering. They're just doing this cheesy little fucking lovers couple. It's like puppy love when you first fall in love with somebody, you know, in that first 6 months is just your whole world is just them. I mean, that's Miz and Maryse. It's fucking adorable. It's over the top cheesy and corny, but it's adorable. Aww. And it's just something about these two, man. They're just the cheesiest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. But it works. It's fun. It's entertaining. I like it. And watching them go back and forth on the mic, I fucking loved it. I could watch that Miz TV the entire 2 hours. That's just me. But I loved it. They were talking trash on Daniel Bryan, Brie Bella. And this is where Maryse was just saying how Brie Bella, I should say, married Daniel Bryan just to stay relevant in WWE. Ouch, that's a stinger because we always kind of say that as fans. Like, we always thought that about Nikki Bella and John Cena. Not so much Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan. They're a little bit more down to earth and real for us. But people do think that. And then Miz is like, yeah, and Daniel Bryan married Brie just to do his dirty work and speak for him and stand up for him because Daniel Bryan basically doesn't have a backbone, is what Miz is saying. So they're just trashing Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. The crowd is booing heavily at this point. Again, that's what true heels should get out of the crowd. So the crowd's booing and Miz is on his A game. Don't boo her. She's 5 months removed from being pregnant. And you're booing a mother? He was just on his game, man. He's like, you know what? If you wanna boo like children, then I will treat you like children. And he says, Daniel Bryan, I'm gonna beat up your fucking hero. You wanna boo like children? I'm gonna fucking take away your hero. He calls out Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan obliges. Here comes Daniel Bryan. And he's like, Miz, you could do a lot of things, but you never talk about my wife. Because when you talk about my wife, you get this. Daniel Bryan gets in the ring, and he starts throwing those bows onto the Miz. Somehow, in this whole little squabble here, the Miz Daniel Bryan runs into the Miz, hits the Miz goes into Maryse. Now, Maryse drops like a ton of bricks holding her stomach. Again, this would mean a little more if she was actually pregnant. She's not pregnant anymore. She's not been pregnant for 5 months. But still, holding her stomach, and all the talk about her just having a kid, the illusion is like it has something serious to do with her and the baby, even though the baby is no longer in there. Following along? So she's clutching her stomach. Everyone is panicking at this point. The referee's panicking to the point where he's throwing up an X. You got paramedics down to the ring. The stretcher's out there. Daniel Bryan is in shock and awe. What did I just do? The Miz is attending to his wife like he just lost her. And this set up the perfect fucking master plan for the Miz and Maryse, or so we thought. It wasn't executed properly or masterfully, but it was a master plan, or at least it should have been. Because Daniel Bryan, the Miz is screaming for water. Miz goes to get water over at the other side of the ring. While he's doing that, Daniel Bryan is attending to Maryse. Daniel Bryan is showing the man that he is, and he has this compassion for others. He doesn't care if there's this big feud or not. If somebody is drastically injured, Daniel Bryan is going to step up, as Miz said he doesn't do. He's going to step up and show that compassion. Lend his support, his help. He's sorry for what he just did. So Daniel Bryan's attending to Maryse, and you see the Miz with this look in his eyes behind Daniel Bryan when he gets the water. Like you know something's up. And then Maryse starts to climb up on her own accord. She no longer needs that stretcher. And there's this huge shit-eating grin, this smile on Maryse. And Daniel Bryan's like, what the fuck? And before he could turn around, he's clutched into a skull-crushing finale. This is where I would just have the skull-crushing finale executed, and the segment should be over with Miz and Maryse going up the rampway with master grins on their face. Huge-ass, shit-eating grins. Like, they just concocts the biggest fucking epic plan on Daniel Bryan. Not only did we just beat you up, not only did we just skull-crush finale you, we made you look like a fucking idiot. We had you right in the fucking middle of our fucking palms, and we gripped those sons of bitches. We had you right in the clutches. You couldn't do anything. That's how easily we pulled the strings on the puppet that you are. That's how I would have ended that segment. Instead, they have Daniel Bryan kick out of the skull-crushing finale, and Daniel Bryan ends up getting the upper hand on the Miz to the point where the Miz rolls out, and Miz and Maryse are going up the aisle, wondering where the fuck they went wrong. And Daniel Bryan celebrating with his yes. I would have done it differently, but let's not steer away from the base fact here. The base fact is, this was a good segment. The Miz and Maryse alone, going back and forth and talking all that shit, getting all those boos from the crowd, working as true heels like they should be, and like a heel should do that type of work. And then you have Daniel Bryan coming down, Maryse drops like a ton of bricks, you really think there's something wrong, it ends up being a master plan that goes horribly wrong for Miz and Maryse. So even though it didn't go exactly how I would have executed it, it still was a good segment to start off SmackDown. You had that psychology. You had that storytelling, which is all I ever asked for from WWE. Okay, maybe I asked for a little bit more, but storytelling, make me give a shit. What made that segment fun and entertaining for me and intriguing is because from minute 1 to the fucking final minute 13, 14, whatever the fuck it was, I was intrigued. I was entertained by Miz and Maryse on the mic during Miz TV. I was obviously intrigued by Daniel Bryan coming down to the ring. And I was entertained by the whole fucking plan. Because that's all it was. It was just a plan. It was a hoax by Maryse and Miz to make Daniel Bryan give a shit. Let his guard down. Take down that wall that Daniel Bryan had built between him and Maryse and Miz. Take it all down. Show that sympathetic side. Show that compassion. Let your guard down, and Miz is going to capitalize. Not only beat you up, but show that you're an idiot. No, Daniel Bryan was ready for any and everything. This shows you that in this war, Daniel Bryan will not let his guard down. Even if he does show his compassion, you're not going to one-up him. You're not going to better him. If he chooses to show compassion, let his wall down, take his fucking guard down. No, it ain't going to fucking work. Daniel Bryan is ready for war with The Miz. And that's what tells a story good too, is that they're both ready to show the world that they're better than the other. When you have something like that, man, and you believe it, that's a story worth watching. That's a story worth telling and a story worth watching. So why did I put that into a fucking good? Because it was fucking good for me. Again, I would have loved to have seen the skull-crushing finale. I would have loved to have seen Miz and Maryse walk out with that whole segment. with smiles on their face. But it was Daniel Bryan who got the last laugh. But that's the way we kicked off SmackDown, and I was already entertained. Pretty fucking good to me. And I wasn't even done. How about another good? How about fucking Andrade Cien Almas taking on AJ Styles in a good wrestling match? That obviously showed AJ Styles winning. And again, I cannot fathom, I say this a lot, Andrade Cien Almas is always in the ring with top-level talent. BC, that's a good thing, right? No, because he's always losing to them. At least last night he didn't tap out. I've already seen Andrade Cien Almas. He's only been on the main roster a few months. I've already seen him tap out, I should say, to AJ Styles. I've seen him tap out to Rusev. I've seen him tap out to Daniel Bryan. And just last night, I saw him lose again to AJ Styles. I mean, you can't make this shot. I think that was a Styles clash, at least, again, not a tap out. But what good is seeing Andrade Cien Almas in there with all the top-level talent if he's just going to job to them time in and time again? You gotta see better from Cien Almas. The diehard fan is like, yeah, but at least we know what he's capable of. The casual fan, think about them. Every time they see Cien Almas, he's losing. Yes, but BC, at least they see him in there with top talent. Yeah, and he's losing left and right and every which way, 2 ways to Sunday. Come on, man. Andrade Cien Almas, I'd rather see him beating people in the mid-card than in the main card losing all the time. Or in the main event losing all the time, I should say. Put him in the mid-card at that point then and just have him beating people. Let the casual fan base build up to who the fuck this guy even is, showcase his talents, and then when he gets in there with Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles, then we got something epic. Because you already see what they can do in the ring together without a story being told. Cien Almas and AJ Styles went out there and they put on the wrestling match of the night last night. It was good to see. And after AJ Styles, which was really fucking cool, AJ Styles did fucking flipped over to Cien Almas to do a pin, but then flipped back over into the Styles Clash. It was fucking epic, guys. You guys gotta see. And that's not even the epic part of this show. That's still just under the good category. But it was really fucking cool to see. AJ Styles defeats Andrade Cien Almas. Again, I don't know why they're doing this to Cien Almas, but at least we, the fans, at least we got a damn good wrestling match last night. After the match, Styles got jumped by Samoa Joe. But just like Daniel Bryan getting the upper hand on The Miz a segment before, actually this was a few segments before because this Andrade match with AJ was a few segments later, but you guys get the point. Unlike, or just the same as Miz earlier in the night, Samoa Joe also, his master plan of jumping AJ Styles after a grueling match, that backfired too. And again, the face is standing tall. AJ Styles gets the upper hand on Samoa Joe and he stands tall. I would have much rather Samoa Joe just beat the shit all around ringside to AJ Styles. BC, we've seen that already though in their past feuding, in the storytelling. Alright, I want to see it again. One more time at least. That was the perfect time. A grueling match with Andrade Cien Almas, and you come in and you bash the lights out of AJ Styles' house, meaning his dome piece. It's perfect. How the fuck is Samoa Joe gonna pick that perfect timing after a grueling match, and he still has to run through the crowd like a fucking coward bitch and look up at AJ Styles? I think he was screaming like, it ain't over, or you're not safe, or some shit, man. He's screaming shit. But you're the one running away. So just like the Miz and Daniel Bryan segment, there's things I would have altered and changed. But again, beggars can't be choosers. It was an exciting, damn good match. And I love the fact that Samoa Joe did jump AJ Styles afterwards. Because I gotta be honest with you guys, Almas and AJ Styles was such a good match. Again, for television, for SmackDown. If it was on a pay-per-view and even given more time, it would have been even more better. But for SmackDown television, that match captivated me so much, I forgot about Samoa Joe after the match. So Joe attacking Styles, I was like, oh yeah, fuck. They got another match at fucking, whatever the fuck you're calling it, the Super Showdown. So that was another good for me, man. We got some good, we got a good opening segment, we got a good match there with AJ and Almas. And then you talk about the great. What's great on this, BC? How about Rusev taking on Shinsuke Nakamura? Not only was the match good, okay? That's not what makes it great. The match was good. What's great is the storytelling here. multiple segments backstage of Aiden English, Rusev, and Lana. And Rusev is looking at Aiden English and going, I think you just need to kind of chill tonight. I'm going to go out there with Lana. You kind of chill. I know you're apologizing for what happened at Hell in a Cell. We'll go over this another time. You stay backstage. Basically, that was the gist. And Aiden English is pissed. Rusev and Lana take off. Aiden English grabs like a writer, some suit and tie in the back, and he starts screaming, can you believe, Lana? I'm the one who made Rusev Day. Rusev Day exists because of me. I'm the backbone of it. This, that, and the other thing. That was the gist of what Aiden English was pissed about. He's going off and running off at the mouth saying he created Rusev Day, or he's the reason that they're so prominent. Lana ends up hearing him. Lana came back and overheard Aiden English talking all this shit. And just like two 7-year-old siblings, a brother and a sister, a brother, sister, right? When they do something bad, Lana looks at Aiden English. Aiden English is like, shit, you were listening the whole time. And Lana's like, I'm gonna tell Rusev. And she takes off. Kind of like, I'm gonna tell mom, I'm gonna tell dad. You know, when two fucking siblings are arguing, man, that's what it seemed like to me. But I thought it was epic. I'm like, oh fuck. Big boy Rusev's gonna find out. How is he gonna respond? Where are they going with this? It was really cool. I've been saying for the longest time, if you guys follow this channel religiously, you guys know, I've been saying for months now, Rusev and Aiden English have to separate. It's the only way we're really gonna see Rusev flourish, if he's going to. And Aiden English doesn't need to be just a sidekick. Let's see if he can hang on his own or not. If he can hang on his own, kudos, man. If not, he's got to go. But you can't do this Rusev Day too much longer because it's already starting to go stale. They have to separate. They fast-tracked that last night. After that segment, Lana goes to tell Rusev. We go to another segment a little bit afterwards where she finds Rusev. And she says, Rusev, I need to speak to you. And Rusev's like, not now. I got to go out to my match. Aiden English catches up to him. Rusev, please don't listen to her. No, not now, Rusev is saying. Not now. Lana's now like, I got to tell you something, Rusev. Not now. I'm going to my match. He looks at Aiden. Aiden, will you do the honors? Meaning do his little fucking rap. Rusev Day. And Aiden English is like, yes, of course. And he takes off and Lana is concerned. Like, I have to tell you something, Rusev. But Rusev won't let her say anything. So now we go to the match, which again was actually fucking good. Shinsuke and Rusev. And you got Lana and Aiden outside of the ring and they're cheering on Rusev. Usually I hate the fucking cheerleaders, but there's this extra layer to the storytelling now, right? Lana and Aiden English both have different ulterior motives now. Aiden is trying to get back on their good side. Lana is furious at Aiden, but they're both side by side and they got their best interest forward, and that is Rusev. So they're cheering on Rusev. The match is good. You know there's this extra layer of storytelling. It's intriguing. And at the end of this match, for some reason, Aiden English gets on the apron and starts, maybe he's even on the microphone, was he? Because earlier he was on the microphone getting the fans to chant Rusev Day. So he gets on the apron and he just screams, Rusev crush. This causes a distraction. Rusev is like, what the fuck are you doing? Get down. Shinsuke, roll up. 1, 2, 3. Rusev was in there looking like Sasha Banks. Easy roll up. 1, 2, 3. Shinsuke picks up the victory, keeps his United States of Knock America championship. And Lana gets in the ring, furious, obviously. But her first thing is to help up Rusev. Wake up Rusev, and then deal with Aiden. But while she's attending to Rusev, in the background, you see the look of Aiden English, and it was beautifully told. Mad props to Aiden English and his mannerisms and facial expressions last night. Because in the background, his face looked like a desperate man who's got nothing left to fucking lose. He knows what's next. Lana is gonna tell Rusev what he said, and Rusev is gonna break apart from him anyway. So Aiden English gets in the ring and with the microphone cracks the back of the skull of Rusev and then gets on him and finishes the job. Starts decking Rusev in the back of the head, front of the head, dome piece all over the place. Fucks up Rusev. Rusev's mannerisms and facial expressions, beautiful. He is like not just knocked out, but he's in awe of how he just got fucked up. At 2 Brute, he just got fucked up by his best friend Aiden. And the turn is complete. What I have been waiting for months has finally happened. Aiden English is the one to turn on Rusev. Vicious. And then he gets up and he's got his hands over his head like, what did I just do? Like a fucking madman would do. Like, what did I just do? And Lana, on her A game, sold that shit beautifully. Get out! Get out! Screaming at the fucking people. And the last row, way up top in the nosebleeds, could hear Lana screaming to Aiden English, get out! Aiden English gets out, hands still over his heads. Rusev is knocked the fuck out. Lana's screaming, fade to black, get the fuck out. That's how you end a segment. That is beautiful storytelling. The story that has been building for months and months anyway. Rusev Day! And then fucking the animosity when Lana came back. And who's Rusev's number one? Is it Lana, his wife, or is it his best friend Aiden? And it's that old saying, three's a crowd. Three was a crowd in this situation. You didn't know when the breakup was going to happen, if it ever was going to happen. Vince could just keep them together for fucking years if he doesn't have anything for them. They decided to do the deed last night, and it was told so fucking beautifully. And again, caught me off guard, just like when Samoa Joe attacked AJ Styles. I know a lot of people are like, BC, how could you not know Samoa Joe was going to interfere? I forgot about it because there was an epic match going on. Almas and AJ Styles? Fuck yeah. Nothing else is in my mind at that point. I'm watching great wrestling. And I didn't expect the turn to be right after that match with Aiden English. And he just came in. Man, that was great. So in this show, I got the good and I got the fucking great. The only thing missing now is the fucking epic. And we got that with a little old lady named Becky Lynch, didn't we? Becky Lynch, can she get any better than what we've seen? Oh, she can. And we saw it last night. When she was in the middle of the ring with Paige, the coronation of the new champion is what it was being called. Somehow Paige left the ring after Charlotte came out, because Becky Lynch called out Charlotte. And Charlotte got in the ring, and Charlotte promised Paige she wasn't going to do any fighting, because Paige said, we're not going to do this tonight, ladies. It's going to be at the Super Showdown, the rematch. And Charlotte's like, I'm not going to do anything. I promise, Paige, you know me. I'm not out here to fight. I'm here to congratulate Becky. And Paige left the ring. Said, okay, I believe you guys. And Charlotte does her whole Bex. She calls her Bex. Bex, you know, I come out here to congratulate you, something that you couldn't do when I beat you at SummerSlam. When I walked out with the title, you couldn't congratulate me. You weren't woman enough to do that, but I'm a real woman. I'm going to congratulate you. And this is where Becky Lynch is like, shut your face. Shut your face. There's a new queen now. Shut your face. What I want you to do is I want you to hold my hand in the air. Put my hand in the air. I'm not going to do the accent anymore because I'm pretty sure it's fucking horrible. And by the way, I got some Irish in me, right? I'm not just all Italian, guys. I got some fucking Irish in me. But I can't do a fucking Irish accent. At least I don't think so. Maybe I can. You never know. But anyway, Becky Lynch is telling Charlotte to raise her hand. And Charlotte's like, what the fuck are you? I'm not going to raise your hand, Bex. And Becky Lynch is like, all right, you know what? I don't want you to raise my hand. I want you to put the title. I can't do Becky Lynch without doing some sort of an accent. What the fuck? I want you to put the belt around my waist. So Charlotte's like, Bex, I'm not putting the belt around your waist. Stop being stupid. So Becky Lynch is like, you're right. You're right. I don't want you to raise my hand and I don't want you to put the belt around my waist. What I want you to do, I want you to call me queen. Call me queen, she says. The Queen Charlotte is being told by the new queen, Becky Lynch, to call her such. Becky Lynch is like, I'm not calling you queen. Never gonna happen. You're not. Charlotte turns around and Becky Lynch goes, bitch. So call me queen. With a hesitation, Charlotte turns around like, no. And Becky goes, bitch. I love that. I know bitch is gonna get the pop anyway. When you say bitch in pro wrestling, it's that, the Attitude Era is back for a moment in time, right? That's what we all get, a good old-fashioned vibe and feeling. But the way Becky Lynch delivers it, it's fucking epic. Call me queen, bitch. I loved it. This led Charlotte like, you motherfucker. Bex, you're fucked now. Charlotte just starts throwing bows at Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch gets dropped, rolls onto the outside. I love it. Becky Lynch does like a 360 because she's fucked up. But when she comes to, Charlotte finally gets to the outside. Takes Charlotte a fucking year to get on the outside. Becky Lynch gets the upper hand, throws Charlotte over the announce booth. Goes back, gets Charlotte again, drags her into the ring, disarm her, got her arm snapped way back too, just yanking on that shit. Charlotte's thriving in pain. Becky Lynch finally lets her go, goes to leave with her championship, but stops, comes back, and puts on another fucking, what was that, the fucking, her Becky Plex there, what's that called? I forget what it's called, guys, I apologize. The Becky Plex, I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. That's not the actual name, by the way. That's just her, it's a fucking, her back. Fuck, that's gonna piss me off. Too many steel shots to the dome piece. Plex. Becky. Disarm her, and then you have her fucking... Guys, we'll be here for another 5 years if I try to remember this move. Somebody, will you put the fucking move down below, just so I don't fucking... I'm gonna give myself another steel shot, but then again, maybe I shouldn't. I'm already losing the shit. Thank you, Monday Night Raw, for making me lose fucking brain cells every Monday night. The bottom line is, she didn't leave after the disarmer. She came back and gave another fucking badass maneuver to Charlotte. And then she decides to dust off her strap and leave ringside with Charlotte down and out. She gets to the top of the ramp. Instead of leaving, she turns back towards Charlotte and she holds up that strap up high. Like, yeah, I am the mega fucking bitch, but I'm also the queen. And Charlotte finally starts to come to and she's looking up at the rampway. And she's all fucked up. But she sees vividly Becky Lynch at the top of the ramp with that strap up high. Fade to black. Smackdown goes off the air. Storytelling! That's all I ask for. Again, maybe I ask for a little bit more as well, but storytelling. Tell me the story. Make things fucking believable. Make things as non-confusing as can be, please. Tell a story that should be believable and logical. And the performers will go out there and do their A game because they'll believe in it. They'll give a shit about the story that they need to tell. Man, last night, Samoa Joe and AJ Styles, as much as I would have done the story a little differently, we got to see that continue. The Miz and Daniel Bryan with that master plan and Maryse selling that perfectly. Aiden English turning on Rusev finally after Aiden English was going to be exposed by Lana. The storytelling was beautiful. Becky Lynch and Charlotte back and forth on the mic. I'm captivated, man. You really feel that these are two best friends that literally imploded. And one literally turned into just the biggest bitch in the world. And poor Charlotte just wants her friend back, but this woman will not go back in time. She keeps getting more and more bitter and more of this bitch aspect. Until finally they came to blows because Charlotte couldn't take this fucking bitch anymore. I fucking loved the storytelling last night. The wrestling last night was fucking awesome. And this is all in a 2-hour show. You take away the commercials, you have an hour and a half show. And they delivered way more than Monday Night Raw ever could in the last several months. Why do we not have this type of storytelling, this type of action on Monday Night Raw? Why? How can that not be done? You have 3 hours. You have no excuses. It seems like Smackdown is able to slow up their pace. Give quality time to the wrestling and to the storytelling. And they only have an hour and a half-ish to play with. Monday Night Raw has over 2 hours to play with after commercials. And they're just squeezing in the most nonsensical bullshit I could imagine. Or couldn't even imagine, actually. They'll somehow fucking... They'll definitely put together the most unimaginable shit, and that's not in a good way. They'll shock us all right, in the worst way possible. Smackdown knows to slow its fucking pace, give quality time. They give time to the stories, man. They give time. They nurture that shit like a 2-month-old fucking baby. Until that story is fucking ripe. like a nice fine wine, and when it's finally as ripe as can be, and you know it's going to have the best quality taste possible, it may take 10, 20 fucking years for that wine. In wrestling terms, it may take 3, 4, 5, 6 months. But when it's ripe as fuck, and the best taste is there, they'll crack that bottle of wine open, and you'll get the ultimate payoff. I can't speak more highly of what Smackdown did last night. That is a pro wrestling show, guys. And again, some of you watching, maybe that's not your cup of tea. Maybe Raw is more your cup of tea at this point in time. I have no idea how that can be. But for me, that is a complete wrestling show. Would I have liked to see a little bit more? Fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah. But beggars can't be choosers. That's a complete wrestling show in today's day and age for pro wrestling. For WWE standards, anyway. That's a complete fucking show. You had a little bit of fucking everything. Everything got its time, its place. It reminded me of the old school 90s wrestling, man. Superstars of wrestling. You have a 1-hour show. After commercials, you'd have a little over 40 minutes, 45-ish minutes. But in that 45 minutes, you were able to tell a good 3-4 storyline, like good storylines. You were able to see some really cool shit. Shit that I, to this day, have never forgotten. That's what makes NXT so good. I always speak about how it's just a small pond, right? You have the big fish in a small pond. It's because they only produce a 1-hour show every week. You can put together 3, 4, even 5 epic storylines that people are going to care about. That's why it can do so good. I'm going to shut up, guys. Thank you, Smackdown. After yesterday's video, if you guys saw yesterday's video, me going ballistic after what I just watched on Monday Night Raw, to watch Smackdown, man, it was a breath of fresh air. And it gives me hope in this fucking company. And then we keep moving forward in just a couple of weeks. We have the Super Showdown, Melbourne, Australia. I'll be up at 4 a.m. on the East Coast here in New York City. 4 a.m. to watch Super Showdown. Unbelievable. Tomorrow, amplified Q&A. If you got any questions for the Ant-Man, jot them down below, man. I'll try to get to as many as I can. Amp Q&A, my favorite video of the week, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. For now, Amplified Man. Double fisting those double shot mocha lattes. You know the deal. And then we kick Wednesday's ass. Hopefully you guys do the same. Check you later.